Hello and welcome back to the channel Between the Keys. I've done some reviews on the channel for the equipment, the technology that I'm using to produce these videos. One of the reviews was the Roland FP-30X over here. You can't see it, but there's a piano here next to me. One was this microphone, Rode NT USB. That review's up on the channel as well. Today I'm looking at the Focusrite 2i2. This is fantastic and it's lasted me very well. I've had it about 5 years already, the same as I've had these for about 5 years, and I'll review these as well separately. These are my old studio headphones, Beyerdynamics. The Focusrite 2i2, oops, touch the mic, don't touch the mic. The 2i2 has two inputs on the front. So you can run a mic in there, or you can run, as I do, a piano with left and right, so you have stereo. You can just run to the left out. Most digital pianos have left out mono, so you're just running the sound through one cable. But I always prefer to run stereo so that it's, panned left and right, as you would say. Then you have gains. You have your gain there. I don't really want to actually mess with mine because I've got them set to just where it doesn't peak, basically, and my volume is right. But I've got them about halfway, and they've been about halfway. Oops, where's the camera? They've been about halfway ever since I bought this thing. Not sure if you can see where they are, but these are your volumes, your gains. Then you have a master volume over here too, which I also keep at about halfway. And you have a headphone in, and it's the big type. But my headphones, my studio headphones, are this jack, smaller jack. So I've got one of these extensions, and I just leave that plugged in there. And then there's a headphone volume, of course, as well. You can change these line ins to line or instrument, and I've got mine set to instrument. And I think you would change it to line if you were running a microphone in there, but I'm not actually 100% sure on that, if I'm being honest. I just leave them set to instrument and it seems to work fine. I'm sure I've had them on line before and it still works on line as well, so I need to look it up actually what that does, but never mind. Anyway, as long as it's working, don't mess with it, right? But you've got that switch there. You can hear that, line and instrument. It's one of these cool, like you get on a jet plane, I think it's cool. Anyway, and then you've got a 48 volt button, which you can turn on and off. That gives you extra power when you need it. No, some things run on 48 volt. I don't think I've ever had need for it running a Roland FP-30X piano into it. That's all I've ever run into this thing. I've never used it for a microphone. That's not true actually, I have. I've used it for an XLR, but it's a very cheap XLR that I was given. This microphone I'm using, Rode NT USB, as I say, I've reviewed it on the channel, is actually a USB mic. So it's easier to use, just plug it in like to your MacBook, and I will move the MacBook further away so you can't hear those MacBook fans from this 2019 Intel MacBook. Okay, on the back, what do we have on the back? We've got a K-hole, not to be confused with something else that's called a K-hole, which we won't go into. I looked it up, it's a key to keep it safe. I didn't know what this was. This one I did look it up, and ChatGPT told me what it is. It's a hole marked K, Kensington lock, to secure the device to a desk or other stationary object, preventing theft. I've heard of a Kensington lock before, but I actually don't know what it looks like. As in, I know what the hole looks like, but not the key. So maybe you can tell me in the comments if you've ever used this Kensington lock and if it's kept your stuff safe. There's a USB out, which is where I plug in. You need one of these USB cables. This one obviously came with it because it's also red. I'm assuming it came with it. And I've had it also for 5 years and it's still going strong. It's one of these rectangular USB outs to a standard USB-C. I believe they call that USB-A, the rectangular one. The USB-C. Then you have right and left out, and I used to have it plugged in to what were those speakers? I had studio speakers before I moved to Thailand from England, and they were called Adams. They were Adam Audios They weren't the top of the line huge ones, they were like the one step down, middle ground, medium sized ones. They were about £250 in pounds each. I think I spent about, actually no, I think I spent 400 or 500, I can't remember, but I had good speakers, and you can output to your speakers from the left and right on the back. And that's about it. I mean, this thing's built like a tank. There's a newer version of it. They update the version, you know, they change it a little bit, or they make it more modern or durable in terms of the internals or the parts, or just maybe just the sheen on the top they change, I don't know. But it's basically stayed the same. The Focusrite 2i2, it just sits on the desk. It's small, I can move it around with one hand. It's not too heavy. And man, it's just a trooper, isn't it? It just keeps going. But you'd expect it to, I guess. I mean, how long, what's the lifespan on these things? This Focusrite interface, it's just sort of your budget, beginner friendly. You can even get one Focusrite 1, I believe, with one input if you just wanted to run mono or guitar or a mic. But I got the 2i2, I can run stereo for the piano. And that's about it. I mean, I've had no issues with it. I'm sure there's drivers for it, some kind of drivers for it online. Again, I could be wrong on that, but I've never had to update it or anything. So it's just working fine. Got nothing else to say about it. It's just working fine. I'm not using it right now because I'm just running the microphone and the phone. By the way, you might not know, I'm not using obviously the MacBook camera or an actual camera. I'm using my phone camera to film these videos. That's something I might do a video about, but maybe not. It's called DroidCam is the name of the app. I actually paid something like £12 or $12 for it to be in HD. So I'm coming to you live in HD, kind of. I think it's in 720p, but obviously your native camera on your phone is 1080. So I just paid the extra money I paid the little bit of money to bump it up to 1080. So I'm coming to you in 1080p, hopefully. But sometimes a little choppy. But that's a separate issue. Because I think it's either the MacBook or the phone or something, you know, or the app itself. But it's just basically not 100% buttery smooth, as you can see. But it gets the job done for what I'm doing. So, Roland USB, Focusrite 2i2, Roland FP-30X, piano, DroidCam app on an old Oppo phone, Oppo Find X2. It's about 4 years old or more. But I'll be upgrading soon. I might get a new Oppo or a new Samsung next year. We'll see. Next up, these Beyerdynamic headphones. I'll see you for that video coming now. Coming soon, coming now. Oh, don't forget to click like and subscribe if you found this useful. If you want to teach piano or make piano videos, Focusrite 2i2. Can't go wrong. Cheers.